Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Manifestation Wednesday video. Yes, they're coming back. I'm not going to do them every single Wednesday, but I thought I would pop them in here and there. This is going to be a video about 10 things that I've learned about the law of attraction and my spirituality so far this year. I feel like I learn and grow every single day. What I learned back in the day has kind of paved the way of what I've learned now, and I've been on this spiritual journey for about 5 years now, so I feel like every single day is a new experience. It's a new day. I read a lot of books, do a lot of research, and I think that it's really important to share whatever you learn, and that's what we're doing here today. So I have 2 videos already that I've kind of talked about like 10 things that everyone needs to hear style type of videos. This is going to be like part 3, so if you want to check the first 2, I will have them linked in the description box if you're interested in that. Before we get started though, I do want to say a huge shout out for Keen for sponsoring today's video. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about them before we dive into the 10 things that I've learned so far this year. So what exactly is Keen? I've actually talked about them multiple times throughout my videos. If you guys watched my Vlogmas last year, you might have already known like what Keen is, but Keen is basically a service that provides vetted psychics or spiritual advisors to you 24/7. Their tagline is pretty much anytime, anywhere. And it's actually the most affordable way that you can get access to a professional psychic or spiritual medium advisor at any time. So how exactly do you sign up? If you guys click in the link in my description box or just go to trykeen.com/Renee, you can go to their website, and all you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire to help pair you with a psychic that fits your needs. So Keen is really cool because they have a variety of different psychics. They have, you know, mediums, they have relationship advisors, they have tarot readers, they have astrologists, whatever you name it. They even have Spanish psychics, so if you speak Spanish and you prefer that, you can definitely do that. You pick and choose which psychic is best for you. After the questionnaire, they'll kind of pair you with a few and you pick which one just fits your needs better. So it's super convenient in that aspect, but it's also super affordable. So if you guys have ever kind of dove into spirituality or psychic readings before, you know that they can be a little bit pricey. Like, I'm not even joking when I say like $150 to like $300, sometimes $400 per session, which is ridiculous, and pretty much just lets you go to that advisor once. You know, like people can afford that usually to go and have an ongoing relationship with those advisors or psychics. So Keen is really special because it's affordable and you can have an ongoing relationship with your psychic. So Keen is actually giving you guys your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Like I said, if you just click in the link in the description box, that is honestly a steal. They always have promotions going on. So for example, they might have like a free $10 credit that goes into your account, or you buy $10 of credit and you get a free $20 credit. So like they're always having promotions, and it's just a really great option if you're looking for a psychic reading, something to do for fun, if you just want to kind of dive into like that world for a little bit without paying like so much money, but you're also speaking to like a professional. It's a super cool service. I really highly recommend it. I've actually spoke to many different psychics on Keen myself. I'll actually link the ones that I've talked to if you just check out in the description box. Even if you don't believe in it, it gives you some sort of guidance and spiritual advice, you know. So I don't know, I really like it. I think it's really fun, and I've done it multiple times, and I really love Keen so much. So from my personal experience, they've been nothing but great to me. So definitely check them out. Thank you for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into the 10 things that I've learned so far this year in terms of spirituality or law of attraction, whatever you call it. So the first thing that I've learned so far this year is understanding subjective reality. So subjective reality, I've written down on my phone, by definition implies that the perception of all things, concepts, and truths in the universe differs between individuals. We all live in different worlds. Each of us may have things in common because of our unique perspectives on our worlds. Your view of the world is based on your perspective, your sights, your sounds. So this basically goes to show like what you're viewing and how you're kind of exposed and interpreting the world is your point of view, and nobody else has that but you. Like, your reality is going to be completely different than somebody else's reality. And I've kind of talked about that before, but I didn't know there was an exact word for it, subjective reality. So like what I've always kind of explained is that we can both have this exact same experiences, be in the exact same place at the exact same time, and be exposed to exactly the same thing, but the way we perceive it is going to be completely different based on what we've been through so far, who we are as people, our minds, you know. So to keep that in mind and understand that everyone else has their own reality, you're able to kind of understand them and learn from their perspective a little bit more. I feel like a lot of the times in our society today, people are comparing their struggles to one another, and everyone's struggles are completely different, just like everyone's right versus wrong is going to be completely different. So we compare ourselves, like on social media, we talk about comparison all the time. It's just kind of like a natural thing that humans do, but to sit there and judge somebody else's way of lifestyle or how they're hurting or how they're struggling, to me is just so wrong. And in today's society, I feel like a lot of the times people compare each other's struggles. Just because someone's going through something that you might not empathize with and you feel like your struggles are more severe than someone else's, doesn't mean that their feelings aren't valid for what they're struggling with based on their subjective reality. Just because you might not think someone's going through something as tough as you are, to sit there and bash somebody and prioritizing your struggles over somebody else's is just so wrong to me, and it's something that I have tried my best to fix in my life. Like if I ever sit there and compare someone's struggle to mine and I feel like they're not really going through anything, or they're not going through or even understanding my struggles, I'm trying not to take that so personally, but at the same time not to do it to other people either. And I even tweeted this. A lot of these lessons, if you will, that I've learned, I've tweeted about. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, you might have already heard a lot of these things, because whenever I like kind of just have an aha moment, I always tweet it. If you guys aren't following me already, it's just at Renee Amberg. But I love Twitter in that sense, because I feel like the minute I grasp and understand something, I'm like, I tweet it out so I don't forget, and I can always go back and like read through my tweets and be like, oh yeah, I remember that, you know? So I tweeted, I said, never discredit others just because you can't understand or sympathize with their life. Struggles are not a competition. And I also put on here, like, who are you to tell someone how they should think, behave, or live? It's just something that I just don't feel like we should be doing as humans. So number 2 is spirituality is not a trend. This is something that I've kind of come to terms with over the course of the years, because I started this channel with spirituality and law of attraction content, and I feel like I had a huge following in that kind of area of YouTube, and I've kind of like slowly disconnected myself from that kind of community on YouTube because I feel like it just went so far. I started doing that before it was like popular, you know, like it wasn't like something that I got like views from. It was just like my personal like hobby, I guess, like is spirituality and learning about it, and I wanted to kind of share that with you guys. But I feel like now it's just gotten to another level where spirituality is more of a trend than it is like a personal experience, if that makes any sense. Like there's certain words that people use now that I use all the time. Like I'm not sitting there saying like you shouldn't use a word or something, but it's just like become something that it's not. Words like mood, it's a mood, or it's a vibe, manifest, or being woke. Like people use that now almost just because it's like a trend to do, you know, and it's just like sometimes I feel like people dive into the spiritual world because it's what everyone else is doing, and it sells, honestly. So it's a marketing technique now. So like it's become spiritual materialism. So like they have essential oils. Like before those weren't really that popular. Now it's like the thing. There's crystals, yoga, tarot cards, like people with Buddhas in their house. And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but to do it without understanding the purpose behind them, to me is just like, I just don't really like how spirituality is kind of becoming more of like a popular thing. There's a quote that I actually ran across that kind of like exactly explains what I'm talking about. It says yoga, comma, it's not about tightening your ass, it's about getting your head out of it. You know, like that's exactly how I feel. Like I don't have a problem with any of those words or people like buying into the spiritual stuff. Like it just, to me, that there's people who understand it and use it as like a way of expressing themselves versus like people who, I don't know, are selling it without quality, if that makes sense, because it is a trend now. Like it's just like all over the place. Spirituality to me is more of a mindset and growth that kind of goes beyond the physical realm. So I don't really collect those things. Like yes, I have essential oils, yes, I have crystals. To me, spirituality isn't physical items. It's literally like growth and your mindset and a lifestyle. There should be like no rules or guidelines. I feel like people today have to be super careful what they buy into, because now it is a trend. So people, you know, make videos about the law of attraction. They create products that aren't quality products, like selling fake crystals or essential oils that aren't as great of a quality essential oil just because it's a trend. People are making money off of it. that's kind of why I distanced myself from that community on YouTube, just because people now make videos because people buy into it. They think it's like magic, and it's not, you know. And sitting there having videos that say like how to get your ex-boyfriend to text you back or how to change your physical appearance, to me just totally defeats the purpose of spirituality, and it honestly makes me so upset. And I didn't want to be associated with that, and I kind of dove into this in a podcast that I posted on Monday with my friend Chase a little bit, like how I just didn't connect with it, and it almost made me like upset being associated with this community when they were literally using people to make a living, you know, like they got views from this, they got paid from this. They're promoting something to like manipulate someone into thinking they can like change their physical appearance or get a text from their ex-boyfriend. Like, it's just like so crazy to me, and it's not about, you know, it just is so much deeper than that. It just irks me sometimes when it has become a trend. It just like, I've learned who to trust and how to kind of see what people are really trying to promote. Are they trying to promote spirituality as a trend, or are they trying to promote like growth and expansion for yourself? Does that make sense? I think a lot of the times too, when people take spirituality so seriously and literally, to me it becomes more hokey and magical and whimsical, and they kind of lose touch with like the reality of what like life really is. Number 3 is to question everything. Oh my god, this is gonna be a long ass video. We are in 18 minutes right now. But the third one is to question everything. So I've learned that there is no shame in questioning everything. I think we should always be questioning things, and that's how we're gonna learn and grow. I don't think that the way you were raised, or the way, I don't know, the community you were around has kind of taught you to be morally correct or go a certain way or be a certain way. You should be able to question that and not feel upset. And change is a good thing. Like, you have the ability right now to change, and no one can tell you not to change and to halt your growth. Like, I feel like sometimes people get scared to change or be who they truly are, especially growing up, because they've been a certain way for so long, but that doesn't mean that you can't change. People change, and you need to accept change and accept people questioning things. And questioning things can be like, you know, and just in terms of yourself, but it can also be like religion. It could be life, you know. Like, I just think there's so much value in being able to question anything and everything. Okay, so the fourth one is to unmold yourself. So I have kind of been raised a certain way. I was in school, they all teach you the same ways, like how to behave, what you can and can't say, the proper etiquette, manners, how you should dress, who you should be, who you shouldn't be, you know. And to me, that's just so limiting, and it literally molds people into things that they're not. They lose their creativity, they lose the courage to kind of just be who they are, and they start almost marking fear in people, like fear to be themselves, fear to step out of what is the norm, fear to fit in. And I can definitely tell how the way I grew up has definitely done that to me. And I'm not saying like I grew up in like a bad way or anything like that. It's just like I've grown up in a public school, going to college, around a certain group of people that all have the same lifestyle, you know. And it's just like so irritating to me, because sometimes I see people with kids and they'll say like, don't do that, or do this because that's what you're supposed to do. And it's like, why don't you just let them be who they are? And just like, that's the purpose of being human, isn't it? It's to just be yourself. Like, why are we sitting here molding kids into something that they should and shouldn't be, and putting pressure on them? It's just, to me, is so wrong. So that's one of the reasons I even like Billie Eilish. Like, I love Billie Eilish because like how she was raised. She was raised without being told what to do. She was raised to just be purely herself and express herself and behave in a way that she feels like she is allowed to behave, you know. And I think like there's so much creativity in her that it just like, when I saw the way she is, it kind of just like clicked with me, and I was just like, why are we conforming people like into these people? She is a non-conformist, like a stubborn non-conformist, and I love that. No one's really telling her what to do. And imagine like who you would be if you were never taught what to do or how to behave. It's a really interesting way to think. And so now whenever I'm like in a situation, if I ever have anxiety or I have that voice in my head telling me like I want to do something, but I'm like for some reason not doing it. Like, I don't know if it's just like the way I was taught or whatever. Like when I have that spark of like, I really want to do this, but should I? That's kind of like the voice in my head to be like, yes, do it, because that's like really who you are. But you're being pushed back by something that was kind of engraved in your head when you were younger. And so when you have that spark or that feeling, just do it, because that's your authentic self. There's something I want to read from this book. It's called The Book of Awakening, that kind of like, I don't know, went along with this. I'll put this link down below if you guys want to read it. It's really good. I have a lot of quotes that you guys are going to hear in a second, all by this guy, Mark Nepo. There have been many times that I said yes when I meant no, afraid of displeasing others and even more afraid of being viewed as selfish. I think the first time I decided to get married, I said yes when I meant no. Young and inexperienced in being myself, I agreed to be a fish out of water for as long as I could, so as not to hurt or disappoint or displease. Not surprisingly, it all ended badly. And how many times once trained in self-sacrifice do we have the opposite conversation with ourselves, our passion for life saying yes, 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 and our practical guardness saying, don't be foolish, be realistic, don't leave yourself unprotected. But long enough on the journey and we come to realize an even deeper aspect of all of this. Those who truly love us will never knowingly ask us to be other than we are. The unwavering truth is that when we agree to any demand, request, or condition that is contrary to our soul's nature, the cost is that precious life force is drained off our core. Despite the seeming rewards of compliance, our souls grow weary by engaging in activities that are inherently against their nature. When we leave the crowded streets and watch any piece of nature doing what it does, a tree, moose, snake, or lightning, it becomes clear that the very energy of life is the spirit released by things being what they are. And those of us committed to love must accept that care is the inner river flooding its banks. Yet if the soul's river can't be fed by its source, there will be no care. I really liked that. The fifth one, which I've kind of dove into in a vlog, and I'll pop it on the screen if you guys are interested in that. I talk a lot about it. It's basically don't put all your eggs in one basket. So just like stock, when you don't put all your money into one stock, if that stock fails, all your money is gone and you have nothing. So if you sit there and put yourself in only one aspect of your life, and that could be like your relationship, like you only are living for your relationship and you're slacking on family life, you're slacking on your social life, you're slacking on your life, you're slacking on your career, your finances, and you put all your eggs into that relationship basket, the minute that goes away, you're gonna feel empty, like you have nothing and there's no will to live because you've put your whole life into one basket. Just like stock, you got to kind of spread your money throughout all the stocks. That way if one goes down, you're kind of leveraged with the others and you're not putting every single thing in your soul and your life into that one area of your life, that stock of your life. So it's really important to kind of focus on the 7 dimensions of wellness, which I will pop on the screen as well. When you kind of just give a little bit of your all into everything, that way if one is a little bit rocky, you're not completely mentally exhausted and drained and feeling like there's no way out. Number 6, there is so much to be grateful for in your life. You just got to find them, and when you do, they become easier and easier to discover. It is so true. Gratefulness is something that I am so grateful that I got from the law of attraction. It is the most amazing feeling ever. I can seriously be in a horrible predicament in my life and I can still find gratitude, which is just an amazing thing. And it is almost like a muscle. Like in the beginning, it could be a little bit hard if you're not used to finding the good things in, you know, a shitty situation or your life, but the more you find them, the easier you'll be able to find them. And every single day I wake up and I used to have a gratitude journal. I would start by putting like 3 things in a gratitude journal, 3 things in the morning, 3 things at night, and now I just like have endless gratitude, and it's just like I feel so good. I do get in slumps sometimes, but again, like I said, it's really easy for me to pull myself back out of them and focus on the good and find the good in them. It seems tough at first, but the more you practice it, the more it just becomes a part of your daily life, and it just seriously makes your life so much better and your relationship so much better and makes you feel so much better. It's just like such a good thing. Number 7, people judge what they don't understand. This is from a subscriber. If you were the one who commented, I don't remember your name, but thank you. Seriously, that like just blew my mind. People judge what they don't understand. So when people sit there and judge you, understand that they're not understanding you. It's almost like you kind of understand the people who judge you a little bit better and almost sympathize with them instead of sit there and create your own judgment towards them because you're not understanding them. When I tweeted that out, another subscriber commented back a John F. Kennedy quote that kind of goes along with that, and it says, "Too often we enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought." And so whenever you are judging yourself, realize like, am I just not understanding this properly? And try your best to be more open-minded and understand what you are judging. Something else that correlates with that is that anger is is fear's bodyguard. So whenever you feel these certain emotions, the reason you're feeling them is not just because you're upset or angry or you're being judgmental. It's because you're, one, not understanding them, or two, you're fearful of them. It could be the way that you were taught. You maybe were not exposed to certain things in life, so you are quick to judge them and quick to get upset about them. But again, that just means that you don't understand them. And try your best to be open-minded, and instead of saying that your way is the right way, try questioning that a little bit and try to understand the perspective of what the other person is feeling. You don't have to agree with what they're saying, but try your best to understand why they think that that is the right way of living. And if we all did that, can you imagine the acceptance and love and compassion that we would have for one another? Like I said, there is never going to be a right or wrong. Your way of thinking is not right. Like, who is right? There's no right or wrong. It's just when people start thinking like that and they say, this is the right way, and no, you shouldn't do this, and yes, you should do this, they're not even trying or willing to understand the other side, and they're saying that their right is right, but that's not true. Like, who are you to say that your right is right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's never going to be right or wrong, but to be able to understand the different perspectives is what I feel like will bring people together more, and be able to understand one another and be okay with not having the same right as their right or the same wrong as their wrong. You know? Number 8, there is no end to worry because there's no end to what exists out of view. That was a quote, again, that I tweeted. Because Noah sat me down one time and was like, you're literally worrying about something and making it a bigger deal, and it's already done and happened. Like, when you sit there and worry about something, first of all, it's not even in reality, it's not really happening. You're creating it in your head, and the more that you do that, the bigger that you're making it, and it's not even real. Like, there's no purpose in worrying. And when I sit there and worry, and I sit back and I'm like, why did I just waste all my time on this? Like, it's not even reality right now. And I just made it into something bigger. And the more that you sit there and harper on that thought and that worry, the bigger that you're making it. And it just doesn't even need to be a thing at all. Number 9, what the fuck is life? I was like thinking, like, I've been really into like the simulation theory, if you guys are into that. I'll pop a video about that too in the description box if you're interested in that. But it's basically like, is our life a simulation? And I'm pretty sure Elon Musk was the one who kind of came up with it, and it is insane to think about. Like, I really sometimes will sit there and I'm just like, what is this life? Like, for real. Like, we have life, we have death, we have clouds, we have animals, we have like nature and seasons and earth and the universe, and like, what the hell is even the universe? Like, what the heck are we living in? There's no answers. But to think about it and think about the way that we're living is just such a surreal, it's like a freaking video game. Like, it really is. Like, what is it? How are we here? Like, it's just such a weird feeling. I don't even know how to explain that one. But a quote that I came across too that kind of like made me think, like, whoa, was, we make our heaven and hell while we're alive. You can make it a heaven, you can make it a hell. You pick. Number 10, while we are unique, we are also the same. I believe in like oneness. We all are one, even with the universe and the animals and earth and all that stuff. Like, we are all one, we are all the same, but at the same time we are very, very unique. And again, I tweeted something that I want to read to you guys, that from a book. I don't even remember what book it was from. If I can find the book too, I'll link it down below. I forgot which one this one was, but it says, it is as if a large diamond were to be found inside each person. Picture a diamond a foot long, 1,000 facets, but the facets are covered with dirt and tar. It is the job of the soul to clean each facet until the surface is brilliant and can reflect a rainbow of colors. Now, some have cleaned many facets and gleam brightly, others have only managed to clean a few. They do not sparkle so. Yet underneath the dirt, each person possesses within his or her breast a brilliant diamond with 1,000 gleaming facets. The diamond is perfect, not one flaw. The only differences among people are that the number of facets cleaned, but each diamond is the same and each is perfect. I just love that. And then Mark Nepo, the guy in here, wrote, we live out the same paradox of being unique and the same. So it's interesting. Again, what the hell is life? You can also relate it to that, because like, what is this? Like, you know, that's such a like spiritual thing to say. What is life, bro? No, I'm not smoking anything. That's just how I think. So yeah, I did not realize how long this video was going to be. I haven't had a Manifestation Wednesday video in so long, so I just want to go. But if you guys are into this style content, I still create like every single Monday. I have a podcast called The Wisdom Theory where I talk about this kind of stuff. But like I said, when I make these videos, it's so hard to keep them like super short. So I feel like they're so long. So podcast is like better for me because I can just sit there and ramble and not have like a time limit. But yeah, I really liked this. If you guys like these style of videos, let me know and I can like pop them in a few times. Maybe like once a month we'll have a Manifestation Wednesday video. I just really like them because I like talking and discussing. It's super fun for me. But huge shout out to Keen again for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to go check them out and click on the link in my description box. Talk to a psychic. If you do, let me know if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys all in a future video. Bye guys.